Class is in session. MLB hitting the book show Wednesday, August 27th. Ian Cameron and Connor Mack with you, ready to break down the Wednesday MLB card. We had a few afternoon games, but plenty of action still to come tonight. So let's jump right in, break it all down, hopefully get a few more winners on the board for you, which would be great. Next up, we've got, first up, I should say, we've got the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. Boston minus 140, road favorites. 9 the total here in this game. Brian Bayo and Dietrich Enns, the lefty, who they just picked up from the Tigers recently, this Orioles team making the spot start. Bayo's been in really good form. Boston's won the first 2 games of this series. Really good form right now from Bayo. I don't want to step in front of Boston. It's not easy to sweep a series. Baltimore has been playing pretty plucky, pretty feisty lately, but I certainly like Bayo's form enough that, look, with this price dropping, I didn't bet this game initially. This was a no bet. Boston opened minus 160 at the open, but now this line's come down to minus 140. I'm even seeing minus 134 in some spots. If it moves any lower, I might grab some Boston Red Sox here because certainly like the form of Bayo. It won't be easy to sweep a team, especially on the road, but like I said, I have no interest stepping in front of the Red Sox or starting pitcher for them that's in really good form at the moment. What do you think here, Connor, Boston and Baltimore?
Yeah, Bayo's, man, he's looked really good. Even that last start he had, the Yankees, which was real, I thought he looked pretty good too. Only walked 1. Like I think this year he's gotten better, his control a little bit in command. Like when he
big time.
Yeah, when he seemed like he'd walk 3 or 4 and always struggle. But if you go through a lot of his starts, I mean, he walked 1, nothing. There's the 3, but 1, 4, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. So he's been a lot better. And his ERA here on the road, basically the same ERA home and away for him. O's just swept them, right? Just about a week and a half ago, I think. And Red Sox playing well, but I think the Orioles are alive. It's just tough. This was like the closest game that I want to be on. You talk about it dropping a little bit. But man, the bats kind of have gone cold here the last 2 days for the O's. They'll have the opener. It looks like it'll be Contreras. He's been pretty good when he's come in here lately. Bounced around with the Pirates there, even had a little bit with the Angels. But he's looked good. I mean, AAA's looked pretty good as well. When he's been down. Obviously, he's pitching up now. That's what I meant, AAA. So I want the O's here in some form or fashion. But, man, it's just a lean right now. I want to take it.
All right, Minnesota Twins, Toronto Blue Jays. We've got Simeon Woods Richardson for the Twins and Eric Lauer for the Toronto Blue Jays, also making a spot start for them here. He's started before, but back in the rotation tonight. Toronto minus 190, home favorites. 9 the total here, shaded to the over. We kind of thought there could be some runs scored last night, and there was runs early from the Blue Jays, but runs late from the Twins to come back and win that game. Tough loss for the Jays last night. Bullpen struggled late, couldn't close the door. We'll see how they fare here, looking to win the series. Yeah, obviously, look, it's tough for me to bet against Toronto at home, but obviously now they're priced like they should be. So it's no bet for me on the side. Maybe you can run the over back again. Like the Jays bullpen has not been as good here in the month of August. Their bullpen ERA is 4.8 in the month of August. We know Minnesota's bullpen, since they traded away everybody at the deadline, has not been very good. So, if you can just get a few runs across Woods, Richardson, and Lauer, which you might, you certainly could see the runs later on in this game against these two bullpens. So the over is the only thing I'd consider here. What do you think here, Minnesota, Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, Lauer coming off, most pitches he hadn't to start all year.
And he's been good in the starting role, but here's my concern, that he's out of rhythm for the first time. They skipped his start the last time.
Skipped him? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Yeah. And it was just a long outing for him too. And it seems he's been stretched a little, like nothing like that though. Like, 97. It was like, I was going to say he's mostly that guy you have, mid 80s and he's out, by the 6th, right around there. But man, he's been solid all year long. Yeah. Twins finally got it done. Jays had too many They should have a lot more runs there yesterday. They had the couple solo homers. They had 10 hits.
George Springer and not a lot else. Yeah.
Yeah, they had 10 hits, and they just had those 4 runs, and they should have had a bunch more. 2 or 3 bad double plays. Watching it was like, ouch. First, second, no out. They just talk about rally killer. Woo! Yeah. Double play.
A couple of those.
Yeah. The ultimate.
Yeah, Ober was on the ropes last night. He's lucky he didn't get cracked more.
I know. I know they should have had 6 or 7 off him for sure. And then they kind of cool thing you talked about, the bullpen gives it up for the Jays. And
they tackled one late. Blowing leads last night. It was everywhere.
I know.
It was pretty wild to see it.
All over. I liked it for the most part, except the White Sox game. If that would have happened, that would have been. And I had been looking at mostly first 5, but yeah, that one, that was the only one for me. You know what I like in this game? I don't mind that over. I think it's just Jays. It's juice. It's like, do you want to go the 5.5? Maybe split it a half, 5.5, 4.5. The 4.5 is minus 145. I think they get to Woods Richardson here.
Yeah.
Flat out. They're Jays team total. I mean, it's just juice wise. I don't know if I want to give out type best bet, anything like that. But I also think today, these guys, Varsho, I think Guerrero, I like Bo Bichette. I'm on his RBI. I'll throw it out there, put it out there. Plus 152 and his homer. I think Woods Richardson gets clacked here.
Yeah, I think I definitely think he'll get hit. And even though Lauer's pitched well, I worry about the time off since his last start. Maybe throws him out of rhythm, and maybe Minnesota gets some off him. And like I said, the bullpens have struggled for both of those teams of late. So liking runs there. Connor likes the team total for Toronto a little bit more. All right, Phillies and Mets. Taijuan Walker and Nolan McLean, the pitching matchup here. Mets minus 160, home favorites, 8.5 the total. This is one I could make a case for the over. Here's my concern, though, is Nolan McLean's been good. I still think he's going to get hit around at some point, especially as he faces better teams and lineups. Maybe the Phillies could finally be that team that maybe sends Nolan McLean down to earth a little bit. And, I have no problem fading my guy Taijuan Walker, who finally gave it up and had a rough outing the last time we saw him. So I like over 8. And we know these bullpens are very gassy right now, as in gas canish. Both bullpens at the moment. We know the Mets bullpen's been like that for months. And look at even the Phillies last night. Even their vaunted Yohan Duran last night couldn't get an out in the 9th inning as the Mets were able to win that game. And you got to think with all the pitches he threw, he's probably not available tonight. So vulnerable bullpens, give me over 8.5 here. C-Mac, what do you think? Phil's Mets.
Yeah, we got the runs. The starters kind of shaky, and then the bullpens yesterday in this game. Like, I want the under, but I don't really trust the pitchers here. How could you? In like a full game, because I think McLean could finally get hit a little bit. He's looked pretty good these first 2 starts. Mets red hot. The bats are kind of rolling. Walker's numbers are all right, I'd say, against some of these Met hitters. There's a few I'd look at. Nimmo, he's been swinging a decent bat lately. He had some good numbers. I was kind of looking at him today a little bit, and I think this price is right. Now we're hitting, it's moved just a little bit to the Mets. I couldn't take them though. Even them playing solid baseball is still a solid ride. I mean, I was looking at the Phillies here. Now you can get even plus 140 at some spots.
All right, next up, Arizona, Milwaukee. Pitching change here. It's supposed to be Quinn Priester for the Milwaukee Brewers, but now it looks like it's going to be Aaron Ashby, as the starting pitcher here for the Milwaukee Brewers tonight in this game. So a bit of a pitching change here. What's concerning now is I'm seeing that Quinn Priester scratched. They're opting to push him back one more day. I think they're saving him for the Toronto series because it's a big series, Brewers and Jays this weekend in Toronto. And I think they've opted to save Quinn Priester for that series. You're facing, a lesser team here. And they're opting to go with Eric Fetty. That's right. Eric Fetty is somehow back in the majors. Somehow these teams keep picking him up off the scrap heap when the guy sucks now. And yet it looks like, is going to be the primary pitcher for this Brewers team tonight after Aaron Ashby leaves the game. And this guy stinks, man. 5.76 ERA this season. He hasn't been good at all. Ryan Nelson's actually been a little bit better. I had a Milwaukee bet initially, but that was with Priester on the mound. And the price really hasn't changed all that much. It's still minus 140. I wouldn't lay minus 140 with this situation right now. And I love Milwaukee, and I don't know if I want to fade them or bet against them either, but I'm asked to lay the same price as I was with Priester, with Ashby, and then this Fetty, who's been brutal this year, and I've still got to lay, like, there's been no adjustment in the price whatsoever. So, like I said, at this price now, and with what Milwaukee's throwing out there as far as pitching, I'm not interested anymore in the Brewers at the price given the situation. Could it go over again? Possibly. I mean, certainly I don't trust Fetty. So what are you going to get out of Nelson? Now, Nelson, is facing a pretty good Brewers lineup, so maybe Brewers can still get their bats going again here in this one. So I lean over. I do. C-Mac, what do you think? Arizona, Milwaukee.
Yeah, with Fetty in, I was just Nelson's finally giving it up a little bit, where I was wondering, he's pitched really, really good all year long. And even his road ERA is creeping up. But I think the D-backs here a little bit are live. Like we mentioned, I don't know if it's quite, you never in baseball, like, but they go out, they have a bullpen day, shit like that. Hold your guy back. You're talking about the Priester. So I think the D-backs here, first 5, you can get plus 108, maybe the best number I can get. Hope Nelson doesn't give it up. And it's top Brewers. I mean, I thought Fat, perfect spot. They ripped him, which was good. Team total, first 5 was great plus money. It's tough to go against them, but I think the D-backs score some runs here early.
All right. I mean, I
wonder what their team total is early.
I don't hate anyone looking at Arizona. I mean, I'm not laying a price with this guy as pitching. Eric Fetty.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it. All right, Kansas City Royals, Chicago White Sox. We've got Ryan Bergert for the Royals, Aaron Savali for the White Sox. Kansas City minus 130 road favorites, 8.5. The total looked like the surging White Sox were going to win another one last night, and then the bullpen got involved, and unfortunately the Royals came back and got that one. They're still playing very competitive baseball lately. Better, the lineup's been better lately for the White Sox. Still think there's some value with them. I'm not laying minus 130 with Bergert, but Savali's not one of my favorites. I'm leaving it alone. No bet here. Pass. What do you think here? Royals, White Sox.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the Royals. This price, though, you just can't do it. In the end, I think the starter pitchers could be decent here. A little bit.
Bergert hasn't been terrible.
Like yesterday.
Bergert hasn't been terrible. Yeah.
Savali has good numbers against these Royals as well. So I think he could kind of hold it down. I was looking at the under in this game.
All right, yeah, lean under. I could see that.
Yeah.
All right, but maybe due for a low-scoring game after what we saw last night. Perhaps here too, but I made a case that maybe we could see like the Pirates-Cardinals overs have been treating me well in this series, and I lean that way.
Hell yeah!
Tonight.
If they could score 5 runs in the first, shit.
Of course, and that's what we saw. Yeah. No question last night. And Sonny Gray, starting to tail off a little bit. Long season, the innings are mounting, and he hasn't been as sharp. And I remember the last time he pitched here at Busch Stadium, he was not very good. And Mladzinski's numbers the last couple times we've seen him start, they were not good for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So St. Louis minus 180, home favorite, 7.5 the total, which is even money. I'll take a shot over 7.5 at even money with the bats flying in this series so far. What do you think here, Connor? Pittsburgh, St. Louis.
Yeah, I can't back the Cardinals. Seen them too. I know you're playing the Pirates. They're just still 65 and 68 to have under 20,000. I saw that the other day online, maybe yesterday. First time ever at Busch. The new Busch Stadium is just crazy to see, just empty. Nobody gives a fuck. In St. Louis,
but now they finally have a team not making the playoffs. Yep.
Yeah, but still, even when the Cards, they're usually all right. The last few years, yeah, that's pretty rough to see. I think it's the Pirates here. I think there's some value with them. Gray's been better at home. Some of these guys hit him well. We saw Reynolds talking shit about him, and he had a good day yesterday. 7 for 27. He's got 3 bombs. off Sonny Gray. So look to him today.
All right, next up, AL West battle here. We've got the Angels and Rangers. Oh, boy. Well, can't win them all. It was a pretty solid night last night, but obviously horrible call with the Angels. They got blown out by the Rangers last night. We've got Latz on the mound here for the Texas Rangers, the lefty, and Jack Kohanovich here for the Angels. Texas minus 160, home favorites 9 the total. I know it's the Texas lineup. I know they can drive you crazy. I know they sometimes can get shut down and they don't hit. But damn it, I took over team total, 4.5 Texas tonight. How do they not hit Kohanovich? Kohanovich is just not very good, in my opinion. And we did see the Texas bats bust out last night, put up a big number in that Kikuchi in that game against the Angels last night. I mean, Kohanovich just not very good. So I'm going to, for one night, going to put my faith in the Texas Rangers to score some runs for me. So Texas team total for me, over 4.5. What do you think?
Yeah, I was looking at that. If there is one night, that's what I'm saying. I mean, off Kohanovich is on the road. See, he's like lately, like just giving up 4. He's like when he takes them out, there's a 4 spot. So I was definitely looking at that, and yeah, he's just tough. I mean, he had and these 2 starts that were back to back in July. He gave up 8, both at home, and then he shuts down the Rangers a little bit. Bunch of walks in that. By the way, I remember that start when I was going through the numbers. I think he only gives up a few hits, and that yeah, just one. But he was walking everybody. Got out a bunch of jams. So you know what we don't have put away stuff. Yeah, in the bigs, it's just not going to work, and he doesn't. So that's what I was looking at. And it's tough with the Rangers, but it seems like a spot for Seager, of course, Garcia, these guys in the lineup. I think to get to him.
I think so too. I think this is our one night we dive in with a Rangers team total. Oh, hey, they got the team total last night, so I think it's another pretty solid matchup for them here. All right, Colorado and Houston. We've got Chase Dollander for the Rockies and Framber Valdez, the ace lefty for the Houston Astros. Houston minus 300 home favorites here in the total, 8 shaded to the under. And this game last night between these two teams, the perfect example why you don't lay minus 300 or more in baseball. You just don't do it. You may think that there's no chance a team is going to lose, but you just don't do it. And last night, Colorado 6-1 in Houston. They get the job done over the Houston Astros. What's the explanation for the Houston Astros against Tanner Gordon and his terrible ERA this season, getting only 1 run? It's hard to fathom. It's baseball.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah, it's just, shocking. 6-1 Colorado last night in that game. Dollander has been just hammered in 2 straight starts. Now, both of them were at home. And here's the thing to watch out for with Dollander. He's been raked at Coors Field. He gave up 12 runs in his last 2 starts at Coors against Arizona and the Dodgers. But on the road, he's actually had some decent starts at times for this Colorado Rockies team. So we'll see how he fares here tonight against a Houston team that's obviously going to be in a pretty bad mood. But, his road ERA is at least a little bit, it's not great, 4.09, but it's better than his home ERA, that's for sure. And again, this Astros lineup, it's feast or famine. There's some games where they put up a big number like they did against Baltimore. And now all of a sudden, the last 2 games, they only score 3 runs combined. And don't forget, before the Baltimore series, when they got swept by Detroit, they only scored 2 runs. That's it in those 3 games. So maybe an under in this, potentially. And Framber Valdez, you would think he's the stopper. He's the guy you want when you're coming off a loss. I don't love his form, I will say that. I mean, and believe it or not, the Astros are 0-5 in his last 5 starts, 6.14 ERA during that span. He's allowed at least 4 runs in 4 straight starts. I'm very tempted to take a shot here. I am with Colorado. I mean, it's just, you hope you're not a day late and $1 short. That, you weren't on Colorado last night. They win. You worry that if you take Colorado tonight, now it's going to be Houston waking up and they beat the brakes off them. But Valdez's form's shaky. Dollander has been at least a little bit better on the road than he's been at home. I mean, this is one of those you either take the price or you pass. You take the 250 shot with the Rocks or leave it alone. That's where I stand. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, they could just get the doors blown off today, I think. Maybe. But if you do, just take it. I mean, maybe not go crazy.
Yeah.
With it, that's how I've got to look with the Rockies. Like it's just not enough for full unit type bets or more with them. That's for damn sure. Dolner has been a little bit, and that last start though, he got hit a little bit right here at home. Yeah, the Dodgers. He just got hit around. So I'm thinking this total too is only 8. You know, maybe he pitches. All right, it's just tough to trust him. And Valdez, it's just all of a sudden been shaky. Is he just going to shut the door now? Like if he's on, this is Rockies team total under. We talked about it yesterday. They scored some runs. Rockies got it going. Like Valdez is on the. You'll know right away. His curveball's working. He's probably not walking too many people. You know, one or so because he doesn't mind that. And it just the Rocky score nothing or 2 runs top. So I thought that, but his form is just, he needs a good start. Maybe this is here versus the Rockies, who have been better against lefties lately. Yeah, kind of put that in, somewhat better. Rocky standards.
No doubt. Yeah, like I said, I don't want this to be the night Houston wins 8-1 and I'm on Colorado. So, like I said, I lean Colorado. I'm not laying that with Houston, but at the same point in time, Framber Valdez is good enough that he can bounce back and get back on track. I don't think he's going to stay like this forever. He's been in a funk, but I think this could be a spot. I worry about this being the spot where he goes out there, throws 7 innings, and gives up 1 run. This could be one of those nights for him. We'll see. All right, next up, Reds and Dodgers. We've got Shohei Ohtani on the mound here for the Dodgers and Nick Lodolo, the lefty for the Dodgers. For the Reds, rather. Dodgers minus 190, home favorites, 8 the total in this game. Dodgers have rolled so far in this series against Cincinnati. It's been pretty easy victories for the Dodgers, 7-0, 6-3. Reds have kind of been slumping at the plate, no question about that. I'm a big Nick Lodolo fan, though. I like him as a pitcher. I think he's very solid. I think he could pitch well here. He's given up 2 runs or less. 5 straight starts. The Reds are 4-1 in his last 5 starts. He only gave up 2 runs to the Dodgers back in July when he faced them in Cincinnati. So Lodolo, I think, could be primed for a decent outing here. And I don't want to say Ohtani's a fade, but as a pitcher, but you can't like his last 2 starts. He's given up 9 runs, 14 hits in 8.1 innings. Dodgers aren't winning, believe it or not, with Ohtani on the mound. They've lost each of Ohtani's last 4 starts. This LA Dodgers team. 4 straight Ohtani starts. Losses, all 4 for the LA Dodgers. Trying to avoid a sweep. Dodgers may be a little satisfied. They've already won the series. I mean, I think it's a nice spot and matchup to take a shot with the Reds here. I know they're not hitting at the moment, but plus 160, I'm going to take my shot here with a Dodgers team against a Dodgers team that's 0-4 in Ohtani's last 4 starts. And like I said, Lodolo's been pretty rock steady, pretty consistent. So going to take my shot here with Cincinnati as a big dog tonight to avoid the sweep. What do you think here, C-Mac? Reds, Dodgers.
Yeah, I think it's all from everything. Is Lodolo's blister. He's coming back even early. That means I don't think it was that bad, that he was dealing with it. Because I want him here too. When I looked at it, was just total was the under a little bit. The Reds haven't been scoring a bunch. And Ohtani's been a little bit
Dodger
shaky.
Stadium. Yes, Dodger Stadium. He's pitched better though. Ohtani. We
yeah, of course.
That.
Yeah,
pitchers for.
Is it Ohtani bobblehead night too?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it'll be packed. So I was kind of thinking this under a little bit in this game, but I think there's value though. It's just Ohtani's on the mound. Everyone loves that. As long as Lodolo's, it's not too bad from everything I heard. I think the Reds, they can get a few runs, are live here, especially early. So first 5 plus 170 Reds.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a nice spot, nice price to take a shot with Cincinnati. Avoid the sweep here. All right, Cubs and Giants. Colin Ray and Carson Whisenhunt, the pitching matchup. Cubs minus 130, road favorites, 8.5 the total. This is one game on the card I don't have a real strong opinion on either way. I mean, I thought it was good price. Look, I was laying this price with Boyd last night in the Cubs, and Giants end up getting the win. I'm not really excited about laying the same price with the Cubs on the road now with Colin Ray on the mound, who he's actually solid, but don't view him nearly as efficient as Matt Boyd. And what are we going to get here from Carson Whisenhunt? It's been a bit of a struggle for him since he's been in this Giants rotation. If San Francisco was any sort of, consistent lineup, maybe take a shot to the over. I'd lean that way, but I don't have a strong feel here for this one. C-Mac, Cubs, Giants.
Yeah. This is going from 8 to 8.5. I think we might get some offense here a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the Cubs can get to Whisenhunt. I think their team total in this game is like the Giants overall the year is pretty good from what their bullpen in a stretch, but he's going to have to give a few. Colin Ray, too, hit and miss on the road. Some of his games he's won, he's given up some runs, but the Cubs have given him some support. So I think this game could get over. I think the Cubs team total is a solid look here, too.
All right, lean over and Cubs team total. All right, final game, yeah. Detroit Tigers and the Athletics. Tigers -130, road favorites, 10.5 the total here in this game. We mentioned it yesterday on the show. You see those winds blowing out. You see the warm weather in Sacramento. You almost got to just go ahead, take the over, and hope things go well, because I find that's a positive expectation bet. When that wind is blowing out in that ballpark, that ball just flies. And we were seeing it again last night. What a game it was. How about the A's here with a couple of wins to start this series against Detroit? 8-3, 7-6. They did damage against Skubal and the Tigers' pen 2 nights ago. Last night, they ended up having a really good showing against Old Man Morton, who got rocked a little bit. And then they got to the bullpen in extra innings to pull out the victory. I'm not laying this with Detroit. And the A's have a little positive momentum. Now, here's the thing with Luis Morales, who's going to get the start here for the A's. He's given up 2 runs in 13.2 innings. I don't know if that's sustainable. I don't know if he's someone that's going to be able to keep that going indefinitely. And again, this is a warm night with winds blowing out a little bit. So I don't know if Morales is going to have a shutdown start once again. And I don't love Casey Mize's trajectory. He's been kind of hit or miss. The home runs at times have been an issue. Now, the Tigers have been winning with Mize. 5-0 they are in Mize's last 5 starts, but also 5-0 to the over in the last 5 starts for Casey Mize as well. So, yeah, I'm just running it back here. I lean A's, but I'm not touching the side. I'm just running it back with the total here. Over 10.5, Tigers and A's. And both bullpens are really fatigued and worn down and exhausted. Both teams really heavily into the bullpen last night in that game. So you worry about, the depletion for these 2 pens as well for this game tonight. What do you think here, C-Mac? Final game, Tigers and A's.
Yeah, wind blowing out. I just think there's runs. I thought we'd already maybe see 11s, and it stayed here. So far, we'll see. Maybe it gets there.
The juice is starting to go up. I just saw my screen flash.
The juice is moving up. I mean, there's
20 now with
120s.
Yeah, 10.5. Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's a question. Mize, that last start, he didn't look very good. But you're right. Tigers have backed him kind of all year with runs. And Morales, I think he's due to maybe get hit. I like his stuff. I mean, he was good here in Vegas in AAA. I've seen him a little bit. So that I think the Tigers get some runs. I think the A's just here, a team that just didn't get used to playing. I don't think it isn't their home. So it's not your home, and it was been rough. But I think they score more runs again tonight. I think they're the team here, +115 A's, and I think it's the over. I just think in the end there'll be enough runs. Wind's blowing straight out, not crazy, but 8 to 10. In a park that's small, that he gives up a ton of home runs.
Yeah, and I don't think you need a ton of runs or a ton of wind, I should say, to push that ball out there into the bleachers at this ballpark. That is for sure. So even a little bit of wind, like we're going to see tonight, and it should have an impact on both of these teams to maybe be able to go yard here once again in Sacramento tonight. All right, there you have it. That's the Wednesday card. Anything for Jack of the Day and the home run prop board, C-Mac?
Yes. Jack of the Day. I mentioned Bo Bichette, +500. best number. I think he's a good look. We already talked about a couple others for the Jays. Nemo, I think Suzuki for the Cubs. I think some of these Cubs, I don't go crazy with home run props, in San Francisco, but I think they're going to score some runs tonight. So we touched on Seager. I don't know, his price is great, but Reynolds, when it's plus 750, how can you not? 7 for 27 with 3 bombs off Life is Sunny. Give me a Sunny. Life is Sunny. Anyways,
there you go.
There we go.
Like
there we go.
Getting into my routine with that. Good stuff.
Bingo. I think he's really good off Gray. Sees him well, especially off that curveball. And go yak.
Yeah, I like Adolis Garcia for Texas against Kahanovic. He's homered twice against Kahanovic in the past. Alec Burleson for St. Louis, plus 520 against Mladzinski, has a home run in the past. So there's one.
Hit one the other night to win it in the first game.
That's a good price for someone that's hit one against that particular pitcher. So I'm definitely interested there. You can take your pick with the Tigers game. There should be a chance for some home runs there. I think Kerry Carpenter could end up being someone that has a chance to go yard. Brent Rooker possibly as well. So those are a few of the home run props I like tonight. Shout out to the chat. Joey Moses, Dram Yankee, L.A., Mashin, Art P.
What up?
Thomas Maggio, Stephen Hairston, Jorge Herrera. Thank you to everyone for joining us here. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We appreciate it very much. Reminder, no show tomorrow as usual on a Thursday. We're back on Friday with you on the MLB Hitting the Books show. And we're Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday with baseball for the rest of the season here into the month of September. And, of course, on Mondays, where to be. College football, Hitting the Books show.
Yes.
Make sure you check that out. This week's show, if you missed it, almost 4 hours of week 1 previews. Get it in tonight because tomorrow,
Monster show.
Week 1 kicks off. Thursday night games, Friday night games, big Saturday slate, 2 on Sunday night, 2 on Sunday, and then the Monday nighter with Bill Belichick's college debut. So, like I said, make sure you get to the College Football Hitting the Books YouTube show on the channel. 4 hours. It's great stuff. Make sure you check it out if you missed it. All right, it is time for Best Bets. C-Mac, what do you think here for Wednesday Best Bet?
All of a sudden, too, in this game, I want to bring up, even with Ashby starting, now the line's going way to the Brewers. This moves almost to 150 here at Circa.
Wow, I'm seeing that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that? This movement? Huh. I guess it doesn't. They're not thinking it matters. The Brew Crew get
back and laying minus 150 with Eric Fetty as the primary pitcher. What a world. What a world. Wow.
Yeah. Brew Crew, maybe the bats just, rake. God, maybe that game goes over. It's just stung here at 8.5. I've looked at it. We got a little more time, I do. But yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate it all. Hit the like here if you guys can. Give us a like or a retweet on the show. That's all we ask for. We really appreciate it on Twitter. Send it around, like, share all the fun stuff with that. And I'll have clips for the games too. I'll get these loaded up at least tomorrow and Friday's games as well on the channel. So individual games for Hitting the Books. All right, enough of that wild movement. I'm on it here. I don't know if it goes to 11, but it's fine. I like 10.5. Tigers, A's. I got to be on the over here. Yeah. Over.
There you go. Tigers Athletics for C-Mac, over 10.5, minus 115 for best bet. My best bet here for this Wednesday slate, like I said, it's I'm trying to see here. There's nothing that stood out to me as far as best bets, but I think I'm going to do it. Texas Rangers team total. Over 4.5. Come on, Texas.
I mean, I think they get
that.
that.
I know you don't always hit, but tonight's got to be the Jack Onovich is terrible. He's been really bad on the road in particular. Let's get 5 runs here tonight if you're the Texas Rangers in this game. So Texas team total over 4.5, minus 115. We will go with that for best bet for this Wednesday MLB card. I'm keeping my eye on this situation here. I've got the over 7.5 with Padres and Mariners right now. San Diego have the bases juiced with 2 out in the top of the 6th, and now down 4-2 in that game. So Padres starting to make a little bit of noise there, trailing the Mariners in that game. Brian Wu just left the game, so Padres bases loaded. 6th inning, 4-2, they trail the Mariners. Shout out to everybody. Hit the like button on the way out. That's a wrap. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back on Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.